Roberts, explain to me this government shutdown because, quite frankly, I don't understand what they're fighting over.
Well, they're fighting over two things. Ostensibly, they're fighting over the question of whether legislation should pass to protect these 800,000 young people, the dreamers, brought here as young people, never known another country. 74% of Americans' latest Pew poll say there should be some protection and even a path to citizenship for these young people. That's the ostensible fight. But the much larger fight here is really over both parties appealing to their political bases and looking toward the elections next fall. Republicans feel that their base is hardline on immigration. They feel that posture that Trump took in the election a year ago was part of his recipe for success, and that they're under great pressure to continue a hard line and not give in on any issue of this kind. Democrats equally feel that when you look at the long term and the changing face of American politics, McGraw, and the fact that each election the electorate is less white with a growing power of Hispanic votes, that they feel that in the long run it's a winner for them to identify with these young people and force the Republicans to hold out a sign that says Hispanics not welcome in this party. So the real issue here is the long-term shifting face of American politics, not the short term.
And so is this, how long do you see this going for? How long are they going to keep up this charade?
Well, the fact is that you have two factors within the Senate, in particular in the Congress, that mitigates against a quick solution. As I say, one is that both parties playing to their political bases, but also you have the absence, the decline, virtually the disappearance of two very vibrant traditions in American politics, that are progressive Northeast and Upper Midwest Republicans and moderate conservative Southern Democrats. These historically were the deal makers, the pragmatists, the centrists in the Senate. They have largely disappeared, and the power has shifted very much to the hardliners in both parties. Plus, you have a serious decline in trust. I mean, when the Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer says, McGraw, over the weekend, negotiating with the president is like negotiating with Jell-O, that is a reflection of how seriously the suspicion and mistrust and outright hostility has increased in Washington. So you can't have a serious negotiation if people don't trust each other, and that's really one of the key storylines here.
Yeah. How much of this is this DACA can't get through the House, and it might get through
the critical.
Go ahead.
You're making an excellent point. Look, this is one of the reasons it's holding everything up. If the Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell promises Democrats and says, "Look, I promise you, I will have a vote in the next few weeks on a DACA bill, and in exchange, let's reopen the government." The Democrats say, hey, look, that's a false promise because the House can always block this. You go back to 2013. There was a very progressive, bipartisan, excellent bill passed the Senate with 14 Republican votes to provide a significant path to legalization for the illegals in this country. The bill never even came up for a vote in the House, let alone got defeated. So Democrats are saying, McConnell's promise is not good enough. We need assurances that the House is going to vote on this bill as well. And so far, the hardliners in the Republican Party are totally in control of the House leadership, and that's why the Democrats are so reluctant to give up their leverage.
Okay, Stephen Roberts, why didn't Democrats draw a line in the sand at Christmas time? Why don't they do it 3 weeks or 4 weeks from now? Why are they doing it now? What is it about this continuing resolution that they've drawn the line in the sand?
Well, look, the Democrats have very little leverage in Washington. They don't control the presidency. They don't control either house of Congress. The only leverage they have is the Senate rule that on many bills, not all, but on many bills, you need 60 votes to break a filibuster, and the Republicans only have 51. That is the only statutory political leverage the Democrats have, and their view is that passing a bill to fund the government is virtually the only absolute must bill that must pass. So they're saying this is where we have to take our stand because this bill eventually has to pass. this is the moment when we have maximum leverage. But they have a problem, which is that for all the problems Republicans have, there are a number of Democratic senators, including Senator McCaskill right there in Missouri, who are up for re-election in states that voted for Donald Trump. And this hardline stance is playing well with the Democratic base. But individual Democratic senators, McCaskill and Tester from Montana, Donnelly from Indiana, Heidekamp from North Dakota, very uneasy with this Democratic strategy.
Stay tuned. Stephen Roberts, have a good day. Thanks.
Okay, pal.
Mama's on the Hill. Let me